Thank you so much, man, for being here.
Yeah, man, welcome to the lab. This is where amazing. A lot of magic happens.
This is really, really cool. Now, there's a few things we can't show you. We see them, but Vaughn said we're going to wash our eyes before we leave. So, but kick us off here, because we have a really, really cool assortment of different Mustangs here.
Yeah, so these are all vehicles that are extremely special to the brand. So this is my first Mustang. This is the car I won the USA versus Japan in. I won 2007 World Championship in, and my first Formula Drift in 2008. This represents very early drifting technology. The goal is to get this car back up and running this year and do some comparisons versus our current cars. This is the 1969 Ford Mustang RTR-X. This is a project that really grew RTR and brought some great awareness. This is actually, a lot of people may not know this, but this is the older brother to Ken Block's Unicorn. So we built the Unicorn for Ken as well. Obviously an all-wheel drive 65 Mustang platform. This is still rear-wheel drive, but this is one of our first forays and really one of the most technical projects we had done to date back then in 2011. We did this with the video game Need for Speed. So you can see, obviously, we flush mounted all the glass. We got rid of all the drip panels. All this is metal and lead work, dying art, all done by hand. All the shaping nice. You see. The only fiberglass on the car are the flares and the chin. Everything else is done with metal. I've used the car quite a bit. You can see some imperfections and rocks that had hit it from doing a video with Joey Logano a couple years ago. But this car is seen it, done it, and it is still extremely fun and raw to drive.
Really, really impressive.
Yeah, and it's got a Coyote in it. So, obviously got the 8 stack. We wanted to look, have that timeless look. But it's got a Coyote. Again, we debuted this in 2011 when the 5-liter came out. So this is actually a Boss 302 motor. And one of my greatest prized possession vehicles for sure. It's been asked to be purchased many times, but not for sale. This is the RTR-C. So this and the car next to it, this is our first prototype ever RTR. This is the RTR-C, 100% carbon fiber Ford Mustang. We debuted and launched the brand at SEMA with both of these vehicles. I ended up giving this to my father before he passed away, and he told me that I had to save it for my firstborn. So this is my 6-year-old Gunner's car.
There you go.
This white Mustang is our first ever production RTR, and actually the first new car that I ever bought myself. We used for all of our marketing and development and things like that.
Has 001 on the dash there.
Yep. Yeah. 001. And then this car, which I happen to be wearing the t-shirt of today, is my personal Spec 5 10th anniversary. So we did 10 of these around the world. It is painted leadfoot gray. It's got the Hyperlime accents, 750 horsepower with a warranty. And yes, I opted to go with an automatic on this. I am a fan of the Mustang 10-speed, and I've got plenty of manual vehicles, so I chose that for this one.
And that was rtrvehicles.com, right?
Yep, rtrvehicles.com to check out any of our vehicles. This again was a S550 vehicle that we did. Now we're focused on that 650, but a lot of these parts are still available.
So Vaughn, what's actually going on here with this vehicle?
Yeah, so this is the motorsport side of the house. This is where all of our on-road competition and exhibition efforts start and finish, frankly. This is my Formula Drift car that's getting prepped and ready for the new season.
Okay.
I'll be competing in only 2 rounds this year, but the car still goes through the same process after the season. Everything gets torn down, everything gets cleaned, everything gets inspected and then replaced and or put back together as needed. But yeah, this is one of our Formula Drift championship winning chassis. I won a championship in this in 2020. You can tell there's quite a few battle scars from what happens in drifting, but
I saw that down there.
Yeah, down here, up here, might have gotten to a wall. This was Irwindale, actually. But yeah, you know, those things happen.
And then looking at this guy here, we were actually going to ask you that in our interview. This feels like you basically go through a comprehensive teardown and rebuild just to make sure they're 110% and good to go. And that's pretty much every single. Is that between, like, say, between Hyperfest and the next event, you guys are tearing it down and putting it back together?
No. So the Formula Drift competition cars, those get torn down a lot more than the exhibition cars that you see at Hyperfest.
Yeah.
These cars run fully built race motors. The exhibition cars run Coyotes off the shelf. And they just run forever. But the race motors need to be rebuilt a lot. You know, this truck, this is El Bandito. This traditionally lives in Farmington, New Mexico, but we just had an event with Ford Performance.
Yeah.
This is a GT500 powered 5.2 liter Whipple supercharged 1,000 horsepower Bronco. And it basically is a production Bronco cab that we then basically worked with our friends at Kibitech to put our back half of our race truck and the front half of our Ultra 4 race trucks on. It's got a handbrake. It's an unbelievable vehicle, and it is extremely fun. One of the funnest things I've ever driven in my life.
It looks like I could go get into trouble and have a lot of fun at the same time. So what's going on over here you told us about, Bob?
Yeah, so this is RTR product development. So this is all RTR vehicles in our Built by RTR program. So this is where we do test fitting, instruction writing, engineering. You know, we have multiple 3D printers here. So we basically go from CAD to 3D printer to test fit everything, then go to production. And then obviously if it's suspension, like you can see some of our dampers here, you know, that all will get test stuff. Now those have been in production for a while, but this is where it all starts, right? We have our engineering team upstairs, and then it ends up on the floor. Our installers test everything, give reports, evolve, and then when it's time to go to production, we go to production. So this entire side of the shop is representative of that.
I see you have what looks like Coates, pretty much everything in here equipment-wise.
Yeah, we work with Coates. We've had a very long-standing relationship with them. They make amazing products. Their tire machines are next level, bouncers, super accurate, and the guys love the lift, both the 2-post and the 4-post, to help us with the car problem that we have here.
I can imagine you have a little bit of a space problem for some reason.
You know, when I got this place, I was like, no, we don't need this. You know, this is way too big. And the mentor that I work with is like, nope, you're gonna grow like a flower, you know.
So we have Ben's cars here, and obviously your cars here.
And these are the exhibition cars that you see at Hyperfest. So you can see his Coyote, supercharged Coyote, you know, a little bit, very similar chassis, but toned down powertrain versus the FD cars, just not as high strong. I mean, the FD cars are 1,500 horsepower.
Yeah,
we don't need that for the fun that we have at Hyperfest. These are about 800 at the tire. So,
and I love the blue, like purplish color pattern you have here.
Thank you.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was last year's livery, so we're going to be doing a refresh, but I really love that. And this was part of, we re-announced that we're bringing Mistachrome back to Mustang, so you can buy a Mustang RTR in Mistachrome. Yeah. So that was kind of the little subtlety of that color.
Let's go check
Come
out
on in
the
Fab Shop.
Fab here. So we are here in the Fab Shop now, and a lot of stuff happening, a lot of work and little parts and pieces being put together. Vaughn, I think you said this one is from Ford?
Yeah, this is how we get our bodies in white from Ford. So this is all where all of our metal work gets done. Grinding, cutting, drilling. We got a small machine shop over here, obviously press brakes. And then we've got, there's a body in white from Ford. So we actually are able to work with Ford and get a car before it gets all of its coatings and things like that, which allows us to save weight from scraping coatings off, but also gives our guys a pretty clean surface to weld on and do the types of work we need to do to get it ready for FD. So really great honor for us to be able to get these and not have to start with a car. It saves us a lot of time.
Absolutely.
So this car will be, you know, start to go into its rotation of getting prepped as an FD chassis. We always like to have one on standby just in case we shunt something. So yeah, this is how we get them, and then they turn into the beautiful works of art thanks to the great humans' hands that we have here at the lab. But guys put a lot of passion and a lot of experience into everything that we do here. So,
and big shout out to Ford for helping to bring all these cars to life. I mean, the Mustang is as American as apple pie, and it's amazing that there's just another body like this, a rolling body, sitting right over there. It's off in the distance, but there's two of them here, and you guys can just build them up almost at will as you need to. So.
And they're always like, when the guys aren't working on a project, they'll just start another chassis, right, and just keep it rolling. And we cycle them out every 3 or 4 years. Depends how many times what they get into or who smashes into them, but. We got a pretty good process that works for us, and we're just gonna keep cranking as long as we're having fun.
That's the fun havers, right? That's the name of the game. So one thing just popped in my head. When do you take your car? We were talking about how you were going to maybe have a different color on it as we move into 2025. When do you transition from that car into, say, you just do a full new build?
So it's like every 3 to 4 years is when we'll go into a new chassis. We change liveries every year. But when it comes to new car, new chassis, it just depends on, are we starting to see stress points? Did we bend it back? Did the front end get into the wall 3 times and now we're starting to work with fatigued metal? Yeah. So, it's really for the team to kind of dictate that, but it's usually 3-4 years unless something really bad happens and we got to change it out.
That's a really good point, because this is a working garage. You walk through here and they are building, grinding, welding, doing everything you would expect a real legit garage to do. So Vaughn, thank you. This has been absolutely amazing.
Heck yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you check us out on the Grams and YouTube at Vaughn Gittin Jr. and RTR Vehicles. And you guys are welcome back anytime, and I look forward to seeing you at Hyperfest.
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Man. Hell yeah.
Wrapping up the video here, we are standing next to Vaughn's car, and big shout out to Vaughn and the RTR team for letting us come down here to their shop and actually do this. With that, we appreciate you watching. Definitely check out RTR and Vaughn Gittin Jr. on the social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and so on. But with that, we appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe, and if you like classic cars, muscle cars, if you like drifting, Fresh Vintage is your channel. Thanks for watching.